Melanin, creativity, the flow of energy, justice, politics, money, jobs. A lot of things to talk about on the stage, especially when I'm addressing my melanin field individuals. And we decided to put it all in a playbook. That's right, you heard me, playbook. The guidelines to the melanated. Tune in and listen to the Melanin Playbook. We're waiting. Hey, and welcome back to the Melanin Playbook. It's good to be back with you guys on another episode to get our talk points in. And we're going to talk about Black marketing and presenting the culture.
Hey.
Okay.
So basically, our breakdown of the day is how we are being viewed by the public, their thoughts and opinions of our culture, not knowing the in-depth process and the things that we go through by being a part of the culture. So a lot of people base being Black and living Black off of what they see on TV, whether you watching All the Queen's Men, The Parkers, Moesha, Living Single, or even Insecure. You get your insight to the Black community, or in this case, the melanin community, off your views of what you see on TV, and you go off speculations thinking that you know what the existence of a Black individual go through. So I'm gonna leave the floor open for the rest of you guys to talk.
And the way I feel like we lost, we just let everybody else dictate how we are viewed. And it's like, because all those shows that you mentioned, it seemed like it's still not us in those boardrooms. Because when I was watching, because I love the Parkers, but I was watching it.
Me too.
And I was like, okay, some of the stuff now that I'm older, and I guess that we're more open and aware of what's going on now. Some of the stuff I'm like, okay, we really shouldn't have put ourselves out there like that, because it came off like we're angry, we're volatile. Like, it's still little things that we put in there that portrays us in a light that is not favorable for us.
Yeah.
So I think that we still lost like how we are presented. And it's like we allowing somebody else, or maybe we do that because we know, everybody like to watch a train wreck. So we know that's how we'll get out there like that. But it's like, okay, but is it really helping us?
Right. And I think the closest representation we got to real life was Insecure.
True.
I think Insecure was the closest thing that really logged us in and gave us the insight we needed for our community, for them to understand the struggles that we go through on a daily level, and not it be where either we're just barely making it or we're fighting out in public, so to speak.
And that was on a love. Insecure to me, like you said, was good. It was on a love day-to-day battle of a young Black woman and her friends. You know, saying that show is very, very relatable versus some of these shows that have us a single mom or fighting and arguing in the family. So I really like Insecure. I think that was good.
Yeah. And then I think they always show us divorced, like, or recovering something, or we're going back to school late, or, we married rich. Like, it's never, only show I can say that I feel like was a great depiction of melanin field individuals to me personally was Living Single. I feel like Living Single really was real good, because from the start of it, it was everybody graduated out of college or breaking into their careers, doing what they set out to do. Every person of color on that show was involved in something very professional and very profound in what they did. And even though not all of the roles that they had paid high money, still they were happy. Overton was happy to be a handyman. Sinclair was happy to be an actress. Regine was happy to be a buyer for a boutique. And then later on found her passion of planning weddings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
Martin
did
was good too.
Yeah, I like Martin. I like the way they portrayed us in Martin. Because we still had that down, chill side, even though it was something from depicting like the image of us from a northerner standpoint, it still gave us a good view of us, I guess you could say. Like, we was chill, we like to have fun, we still strive for excellence, you know. It was, they was trying to be big, you know. Pam was doing her thing, and you know, so, but like me personally, and I know I'm probably gonna make a lot of people mad with this right here, but I really don't care. Like, I'm not a fan of the way Tyler Perry portrays us. And I
Oh
feel
my
like,
goodness.
I mean, I feel like
A
it
family
goes
that prays
very
together.
I mean,
I'm down bad type
you
black.
right. Like
Like,
down a mad black woman. She had to
yeah,
get
like you
cheated
down
on.
bad is always a sad
I
story.
don't think it's the storyline that he does. I think it's the fact that it's redone so often and it's not really showing like a positive start out. It's always just scandal, so to speak. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like, you know, she comes in, she's in a relationship, beat and battered. She finally, well, he puts her out. She go finds her another man. He treats her good. She runs back to the old man. She realizes she don't want that no more. Then she goes to the new man. They live happily ever. Like, it's almost the same line. And I'm a
It
big Tyler Perry fan myself, but I
Mm.
can say, like, it would be great to see something where it's not that negative in our community, so to speak. It's not showing the black woman always being broken.
yeah. I mean,
Mm.
they always portray the black woman, like, from not even necessarily like TV shows, like certain commercials that we take will be viewed in a, oh, single mom. It's always that image that's put out there, and it doesn't help us in any kind of way, because now we trying to break the image. But it's like, how can you do that when that's all, that's, I mean, that's all we got is what the society view us. So
Mhm.
we don't own anything as far as like how we push our stuff out there, like networks and stuff like that. So automatically right there, it's gonna be hard for us. So, and then the people that we do have in position, they're not giving us that light. They're like, well, shoot, this sells.
You're right,
So being
but it's
down
also
bad
because
sells.
we take the time to we don't invest in the stuff that really depicts us in a great way. Like people didn't watch Pose like that, and that was a real true depiction of not only the LGBTQ community but also of us as melanin individuals.
Yeah.
They didn't flock to Insecure until around season 2 or 3 when it took off. It's a lot of shows that we watched and it was like, oh, okay, I don't know. It's not funny because it's showing a real side, and it's sometimes, and I'm like, you know what? Like, sometimes reality is hard to see, and sometimes it's entertaining. Like Insecure was entertaining. I can remember me and Eyez getting off of every episode, and we're literally like going over the episode and breaking it down to our lives to figure out the situation.
Oh, y'all had a what they call it? After the
Re-
show, wind down.
a wind down. Hmm.
So yeah, we had to kind of like we did. I can remember having those conversations and us being like, I've been there before, and yeah, this has happened, and yeah, we done did this, and even um you know, even me and Eyes being real close, we had even acknowledged that, okay, you know what, at one point, yeah, we was going through a different flow like Molly and Issa was. You know,
Yeah.
like both of us was doing our own thing.
And it be
And it
like this, but everybody want to see the good times and you know what I'm saying, shares the funny moments and everything. Nobody wants to ride or even watch or listen at the hardest moment of people's lives. You know,
True.
if you ain't walking around hollering, screaming, or cussing and shooting, you don't want to see it.
Right. Because people love to watch a train wreck. That's, it sells.
in our community, it love to watch the train wreck.
Drama sales. This
Yeah,
is what that is. Like, no one wants to watch anything positive. Like, you can even go down to reality TV. Like, I'm not a reality TV person. Herc and Queen know that. I will not sit there and watch that. Like, but when it first started, I can say this. When it did first start, I was watching it. However, it
I left
just
New York was my favorite one. I'm sorry, I had to put that out there. Go ahead.
yeah.
Ooh.
I ain't gonna front. I did rock with. I did rock with it. It just seemed like it was more natural and genuine then. Like now, it's like okay, now we trying to look bad. Like it wasn't. You would have somebody.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
was a
it was
little
certain
rough around
shows
the edges,
that were
but
though, like College
Yeah.
Hill, Real World, the earlier Real World, um, and stuff making the band even. If he did,
oh
like
yeah,
it was
it was
certain stuff that was real, and then it was certain stuff it was like, what are y'all
Script.
doing? What are y'all trying to
right.
show
Like
us?
y'all
Like
putting on.
it was a whole fad of people throwing drinks on people. Like, oh, throw a drink on you, B. Like, good God.
Right. It's like why are we doing all that? Like I don't like caddy. I don't like seeing us in the image because to be honest, a lot of time we're not even like that. You just doing that because it sells.
But then
And then you
again,
put that
you
image
wonder.
out there.
Then we wonder where they get the thought process of that we're aggressive by nature.
True.
Where that thought come from? And I think it's black marketing. It's how the melanin individual is marketed, and we're viewed as okay. I'll throw a drink or pop off in a fight at any moment. Because
Mm-hmm.
even on the Parkers, Nikki was always talking about whooping somebody ass every single episode.
Yeah.
If you go watch it, it was never an episode she didn't threaten to either beat somebody else or kill.
Very valid.
That's a typical black woman.
Yeah. And it goes back to I don't want to keep doing that, but I mean it do date back to how we were treated. Like we were put on to be fighting and arguing with each other. Like we had to fight. Like y'all seen the Django?
Mm-hmm.
Like we literally were
It's
put
Django,
up
the D is silent.
the Django.
That's how the dude got shot in the movie because he kept saying the Django.
It's the
It's like the
Django.
D is silent.
Well,
It's
why you
Jack.
got it there? Don't be putting it there if you don't want me to say it. It's the Django.
Django.
So I mean, like we gotta really break it. Like we gotta be like, all right, you know what? We can't keep taking money because they'll sprinkle money on you. Hey, act like this. I give
Yeah.
you this. So it's like, okay, at what cost? Like we taking money to act a fool, and then now we're damaging our their children, all these people's lives. Like after, like we think about it as self when it's really not just about you.
Mhm.
Because these people know what they're doing. They know money don't really mean anything, but they know that breaking you down as a culture means so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah,
like you gonna take the bait. You can't keep taking the bait now.
yeah,
Cause
but we do because we trying to make the buck, and we don't want to go the hard way of doing it. And we feel like if we get on there and just show our behinds real quick, then okay, boom, I got it. I done made a quick dollar. But then at what expense?
Yeah, because
okay.
money literally means nothing.
Well, since we
Like
talking about marketing, who they got the market Popeyes?
the same people that they have marketing everything else because black dollars mean more.
Yeah. I saw this commercial, and I'm not trying to get us in no trouble, Lord. Please, I'm not trying to get us in no trouble. But it was a commercial started out, and people were naming their like professions. And this white guy was like, "I'm a doctor, and I rely on so and so and to get transported to me in a timely manner." And this Asian lady was like, "I do this, and I require this for my business." And this other guy, he was like, "I require this to get to my business." And then the black guy pops on the screen, and then he's like, "I work for FedEx." And I was like, then they said FedEx is hiring. I was like, what the? Are you serious?
Really?
I was like, so everybody can have a good, great career, and then you're gonna say I work at FedEx.
Hmm. And which not to say anything wrong with FedEx, but why would y'all put and like what you're doing? Like why would you put all those professions and then mix FedEx in there. It makes it look belittled.
And then
Like
not only that, but it makes it look like what color are you trying to reach out to?
exactly. Like you know what you're doing though. You knew that image was gonna come off like that. And it's like subconscious things that they say in the stuff, and you don't really realize it unless you really tuned in like that. The average person that constantly watch TV and never really tunes into what's actually going on
Yeah.
wouldn't recognize that. And it gets into their brain and then they start viewing. That's how marketing is. Like it gets into your brain and then you start looking at things in that manner, not even knowing that you're conditioning to see it that way.
Yeah. And I think
So
when it comes down to presenting the culture, I don't think it's ever put out there right. I remember when they had the Mountain Dew commercial back when I was a kid. And you remember the Mountain Dew guy used to be a Caucasian guy. He used to be a Caucasian guy, and he was always going around handing out people Mountain Dews and everything. Well, I don't know if you guys remember when the first Melanin guy got the role, which was Gaiman from Soul Plane. um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, when he did his first commercial, you remember his first commercial was of him walking down the street in New York, taking his clothes off and then standing on top of a taxi cab naked, trying to sell Mountain Dew. And I
What?
was yeah, that was the first commercial. Like he literally walked down there introducing himself and he was taking off his clothes and he stood on top of a taxi cab butt naked and caused the accident. And it was like what are we saying? Like even in small moments like that, like when we present the culture, or we tie in a melanin individual, are we saying that either it's going to be our bodies that's going to sell for us, or us acting wild and crazy, or us being involved in sports or aggression? Like
yeah, it's like in
what
a
is it?
petting zoo. That's what it is. It's like a petting zoo. Like look at me, and like that's how they did us even back in the day. Like when they put you up on the pedestal to sell you, it's like, come on now. Like we literally are still stuck in the same times.
Of course.
Like it's like, are we gonna ever shake this? Like at this point, like we know about it, we talk about it. However, it's like we don't know where to go to start to change it.
I think we know, but I think in our community, instead of us trying to hit that corner of let me change the representation, we haven't done that. We kind of just say, oh, if I fall into it and try to twist it, then it's mine. It's like, no, it's still negative. Because if you take spoiled meat and season it still, it's still spoiled meat.
It sure is.
It doesn't change it. You have to completely throw that meat out and go get you some new meat to make sure your body stays healthy. Like you can't say I'm upholding the melanin community by promoting the negative narratives that they put out for us. They started calling out the N-word, we started calling ourselves the N-word. They started saying we was aggressive and stuff. We started feeding off of it. Now we want to be aggressive and we try to walk around hood and thug all the time. You know, they say you the angry black woman and you see the black woman always being aggressive. They say you the angry black man, you see the black man don't want nobody looking at him trying to touch him, nothing. We feed off of all the negative energy. We never try to really take it and disperse it and break it off and just rebuild it. We don't do that. We don't show them the different vibe. We just be like, oh, that what you think he is? All right, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Right.
And then we roll into it.
And I get it. I understand why, because it's like you like, okay, well, I tried to like y'all literally created this image for me. So it wasn't like we were like that. We were pushed to the point of being aggressive. It's like you poke, poke, poke. And then it's like, dang, when I react now, I'm looking like an aggressive person when that's not my natural state. So it's like, okay, when I don't do that, but now when I do it, it's like, what do I do? You damned if you do, damned if you don't. So that's what I'm saying, where we don't really know how to go about correcting this narrative that has been drawn out for us.
I would say we in a way know, we just don't want to redo it. We're doing it now. We can't. The Melanin Playbook is changing the narrative of what you would anticipate coming from melanin field individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking a platform and using it for something positive and not falling into the narrative of what you expect. And when we're on here discussing topics and things like that, they expect for us to be the angry melanin people. And we're like, no, we gonna tell you what's wrong. We're gonna tell you what we're doing that's also wrong. And then we're gonna provide a solution.
Right.
And that's how we do it. And it's like, the representation in black marketing, and that's what I'm gonna call it, black marketing, because that's what it is. When they want something to move quickly, when they want the black dollar to surface, they use black marketing.
Yeah.
And we fall in line and then we go out and we get it because then they're presenting the culture of what we want, and then we go fall into the trap. And so then it's like we are out here, they presented Jordans, and you saw this melanin guy jumping around, hooping, able to run on the field, doing everything in these Jordans. Now they're like the top commodity in our community. Whereas if we had been taking the time to invest in Tesla or stocks or anything along those lines, where could our community have been?
Yeah.
I think the problem with black marketing is it's simple to put out and we're easily distracted by it.
Oh yeah. Very easily distracted. And it's
I think
like
that's the
either
issue.
we don't want to put in the time to educate ourselves on the other side because it may not come off as cool. But I can
Mhm.
say this about Generation X. And I have made the statement as far as like they're gonna hold you accountable. I can say that because we literally, which is understandable because we had a veil over us. Our parents had a veil over them as far as like the knowledge level, as far as knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
Generation X literally, they do not take slack from anyone. They will stop the
You
whole
mean Z?
train
They are
or
Z,
Z,
baby.
X, or whoever they are, honey. The ones after millenniums. I'm a millennial. So
Child.
they will literally hold you accountable. I love the brilliance. Like they love to talk and they
Mm.
love to call you out on your stuff. And
Oh
I
yeah,
think
they ask
it's,
questions.
yeah, it's very necessary now because we are getting into a time where it's like you can't no longer just slide stuff past us.
Mm-mm.
And it's like you either gonna be held accountable for it or you might want to go and keep it to yourself.
Hmm.
Like, why you
Because
doing this? Or why you doing that? Most people nowadays, we getting off top a little bit, but they don't even. Most older people don't even have an answer for the younger generation.
no, they don't. But it's dope
We
for
don't
them that
have
they
an
don't.
answer, not because I don't think the knowledge is there. I think it's the pick and choose your battle type situation. For that,
Stagnant.
you like and I think we'll have to address some things ourselves to give you a honest answer. So we're not going to do that. But then that's once again, that's why I say we take a part in black marketing too, because we don't market ourselves the way we're supposed to within our own community. And then we anticipate that when they create TV shows or music or award shows, that we're going to be marketed and presented in the right way because they market us on the Grammys, but how many people win Grammys?
Well, they do,
You
but
know,
not
how
most
many
people.
melanin individuals actually like win Grammys? You know what I mean?
But it's
Same
never
as
been for us.
the Oscars. They market us on Oscars. They'll put our name out there as we're one of the people that are up for the awards. Why? Because they want us watching, and they want us involved. But then, how many of us actually will win an Oscar?
It's the same concept that has been going on since the beginning of this nation. We will tell you that you're available to purchase land, but we may tax you more. We will
Mm,
tell you that you can get this job, but we'll pay you less. Well, like it's always been that way, and it's not going to change unless there's a revamp of the whole system. Everything, the whole mindset has to be revamped because
But you
it's
can't
always
revamp without marketing.
true.
Like
And I mean,
like
the
when it boils
marketing
down
is
to it, we have to find out, we had to find our way as our culture to market ourselves differently. Like if we don't take the time out to rebrand ourselves, because we can't expect for the world to rebrand it. I think that's our downfall. We're
Yeah.
anticipating and waiting on the world to rebrand us, and we're not getting out doing it ourselves. And the only time that we try to do any moment or motion of rebranding is when one of us have died. Then we want to hashtag Black Lives Matter. Let's do this. Let's do that. That this individual wasn't that. Don't allow them to brand you that way. And then after that moment has passed, we're right back into the marketing that they set out for us.
Yeah.
And that's the role we've been playing. That was one reason this topic was really on me to talk about, because me and mine went into a restaurant to eat on the way back home, and we were the only two melanin individuals in the whole entire restaurant. Whole
Mm.
entire restaurant. And some people walked past us, they spoke, hey, how y'all doing? Where y'all from? And then you got some that give you those looks. You know what looks I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So the looks is the ones where they got the preconceived notions about, okay, these are two black men, they might be aggressive. Well, one of them, he definitely looks aggressive. The other one looks like he's sitting on cherries and rainbows. But you know,
Don't do
it's
my baby like that.
but
Girl.
you know, the other one, I mean, he do look like he may pull out a book for a gun, but it's like you got me sitting here, and I'm automatic. I'm big, so I'm automatically viewed as the aggressive one. But that's because that's your conceived notion. That's what has been marketed. That the melanin man is hostile and volatile, and will take the time to break things and show his rage whenever. You know what I mean? When he's not out being a sexual beast, basically, is our synopsis. And it's like, no, that's not the representation. Not all of us are driven by those mindsets. And although some of that stuff has been drilled into some of our melanin minds, let's be 100% honest, it's not what all of us stand for. And I think the ones that don't stand for it need to speak up more. And we need to make sure that we're in the limelight, because right now you get more likes off of being on Instagram and Facebook shirtless and half nude than you would if you say you started a business. And
Oh.
that's because we didn't see that in the culture. We didn't see business owners like that in our culture. So they don't jump, boost, and brag, for they don't understand how hard it is to start a business. So to them, they think, oh, he's just working. Same as,
Starting is even hard. Like just doing it. Like I
right,
mean,
coming
yeah,
up
I
with
gotta
the
make
idea.
myself a poster board. Yeah, I gotta make myself like just. Yeah, it's hard.
But they even do that when like you start a job. They be like, "Oh, I got another job. I applied for another job. You probably get 1 billion likes off of that." But you
Hmm.
post up saying, "Oh
You
well,
started your own
I just
business?
got my
Mm-mm.
right. I just got my business plan together and I'm starting my business."
Because
You
with
want
a
to see likes?
job, I can get there. With a business, uh-uh, it's not the same. And it's like, I think that's how they do it. Like I say, it's black marketing. They don't show us a lot as being the businessman. This and that. We're the football players, the wrestlers, the basketball players, the thugs, the porn stars, the strippers. That's what they That's what they show people of color as. We randomly get the lawyer, we randomly get the doctor. We'll get the nurse on a sitcom before we get a doctor.
Mm.
Like, it's what it is. Why? Because
Or
they
you got
always want to show
uncle,
somebody over us.
the
Yeah.
drunk uncle, the crazy aunt,
Mm-hmm.
So
especially
I think
soul food. Now, soul food. When that movie come out, it displayed a lot of family issues. To me that's a true black family. Soul food.
Dysfunctional.
not every family is like that though. So we
not
ain't gonna
not
say that.
not every family, but I mean every family has its issues. And I think soul food was kind of it didn't display nobody bad. You think?
I
Um,
don't. I don't think it did. I think it just. I don't think it gave us any positive feedback
it's
though.
stereotyped us.
Yeah, it
Yeah, that's
stereotyped
what I mean.
us,
Yeah, yeah.
because like you go to shows like Family Matters. Um, that was a fantasy, to be honest, of the
Yeah.
Melanin family. That was a fantasy. of the Melanin family. It was, if we had learned how to communicate, that could have been the Melanin family.
Yeah.
But because we lack communication in our community, I think that's why. And when it comes to presenting the culture, for us, they present it as broken, and I think we hate to see it as broken because we hate to own up to the fact that for the majority part it is. And I think
Yeah.
that's why we hate to be depicted as that. But then if we go down into it, I mean, it's a lot of truth to it too, and that's why it angers us.
Yeah.
It's a lot of truth, and it's like we don't want the world to see it while we trying to fix it. You know, it's like I'm over here trying to get my TV up on the wall, but you come over here and keep seeing this TV on the floor. Stop coming in my house. Like, wait till I get the
Right.
stuff.
True.
And that's why we keep talking about they can't come to the barbecue. I think the barbecue literally is that backyard that got all that crap around the gate and crap. Like, I think that's the barbecue, and we only let certain people see all our stuff like that.
Yeah. I went to this lady house today at work. Child, she opened that door, she cracked it. She said, "I'm coming out." And she came right out as soon as I walked out. I said, "It must be dirty in there."
Hmm. But that's how it is. We don't see for them
You
for
can
letting.
live in it, but you can't when you don't want nobody to know.
Uh uh.
Mhm.
That's how it is. Because we cover up the dark sides of us,
Mhm.
and in that manner, that's why we can't present the culture the way we wanted it to be presented. Because to be honest and very just transparent, we don't hold ourselves to the same standard we did civil rights and before.
Mm-mm. Cause then whether
we
you
we
at
were
work,
holding ourselves with prestige, and it was certain things that we wouldn't have done because we didn't want to fall into stereotypes. We were concerned with stereotypes, so it was like we didn't do it. Now we stopped being concerned and start embracing, and it just put us in even more of a negative light. You go to prison, you sag your pants in prison. Now we outside of it, and now every guy, melanin guy walking the streets think it's cool to say, and it's like, no, it's not. Like, did you know the origins behind it? And when they do documentaries, and then they see that, and then they see you on the street, and then you get mad at somebody try to fill you up, but you falling into the representation.
true.
You don't, because you don't know what it stands for. Same as women. They'll wear short skirts, short shorts, down to where your booty cheeks are hanging out at the bottom, this and that, but then turn around in the same sentence and say, "I don't want to be sexualized." But that's the
Why he
market. That's
looking
what
at
you're
me?
marketing.
Why he looking at me like this?
That's
Um,
that's
I
what you're
feel
marketing.
I feel a little indifferent about that. I wouldn't say, because when it comes to sexualizing someone, and you could look at something like, okay, so if a woman walking down the street and she got all her business out in the street, and okay, people
Her
looking at
OnlyFans is in her back pocket. Go on.
her. People can look at her and say whatever they want to themselves, but when you approach someone with those stereotypes, now you're opening up the door for them to give you the rebuttal. You could have simply kept that to yourself, and that could have just been your image of them. But when you bring it to them, now it's like, okay, well, that's not what I was doing. That's not.
But we
I
do it.
just like to be free.
The
So
problem
now
with
it's
it.
a different top. It's a different conversation, and it's the same thing that goes with the melanin community. I may be rough around the edges, but that doesn't necessarily mean that gives you the right to provoke me to be angry. It's like that I'm like that, so what? Like, you're trying to use it as a weapon for me to give that to you. It
True.
I don't I really don't agree quite with that, as far as like that comparison, because even with
I
us as
don't. I
being
feel like it's
volunteers,
what you put out there, and I feel like we allowed ourselves to put that image out there, and they took it and they ran with it and they molded to us. Because at one point we did get fed up, and we did start doing things. And you got to think about that angry moment came from the first time we looted in our neighborhoods, and they held that to us forever and a day. And even now, when somebody, gets shot or killed, this and that, what's our first thing we want to go do? Loot, tear it, burn down. So we fall into the stereotype of being aggressive, and then now we're free with it, and we like, I don't care. Like, if that's what it is, let's go do it. And I mean, that's what's put out there. I use that analogy because I feel like that's just like me personally, and I'm a black man, and if I get up and I walk outside of my house with no shirt on, gray sweats, and you can see whatever, like, I'm opening myself up to that. Like, I can't sit here and say, oh, I don't want to be sexualized, but I wore that out knowing what was going to be showing, knowing people was going to be looking at me, knowing that there was a moment where somebody could have rolled up on me and, hey, either try to touch, grab, do whatever. Not saying that it's right, but I still open myself to that situation.
I understand that as far as being open, but that's a whole societal thing. Like, we need to change the way we respond to people, because now it's getting into accountability.
But
Like,
see,
you're not.
we're relying on that for the other person, and I think that's the big, like, lesson with this topic is we're relying on people outside of us to act accordingly, and we're not teaching, and we're not being descriptive of what we want. We're not being vocal. Period. To be honest, we're
True.
just getting out, and we feel like if I do it, then they'll see a different side. Versus, we got people with heavy platforms that are not getting on there having those groundbreaking conversations to say, hey, all melanin people ain't like that. The hood is not like this. Not all of the hood people get shot every day. I know you've been at home watching Boys in the Hood, but the hood ain't looked like that since 1994. So I don't know what reference you're using. If you sit at home and you watching the Hughleys, that is definitely not us, because we're not gonna move into a white neighborhood to talk about our white neighbors every moment we get. Like, that's not gonna be us. you know, and we're not gonna be like living single, because all of us didn't go to college. Doesn't mean we're not successful, but that's not us. Now, insecure, yeah, you can log that down in the books. That's us. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. We're not gonna shake that. That's us if you log down insecure. Because all of us have went through moments just like Issa, where we was in a house, unemployed, couldn't even afford to buy a dining table, decorate the house. And some of us did start businesses, and we struggled at first, and then we got our flow, and we got good. And you got to think about it. Even what we just talked about, Issa became a businesswoman. How many of her friends at first rallied behind her? Almost none. It took a minute before they got involved. So, that's why I say it's a true depiction of us. It really is.
Yeah.
And I think we need to remarket and rebrand ourselves and start presenting the culture in a different light, and stop doing it. Because I'm sorry, hip hop doesn't tell our story anymore. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
R&B doesn't tell our story anymore.
It doesn't.
None of the genres of music that are out now tell our story. TV does not tell our story. Movies does not tell our story. So we, as individuals in the community, got to get up and start opening our mouths, and quickly, because if another generation come behind this one, they're not going to know anything that exists within the melanin community, because none of us said anything about it. We don't share the stories. So their representation is going to be from the Parkers and Moesha and Fresh Prince and all this other stuff. And it's like, that ain't us, sweetheart. That's not us.
Right.
Because that's how they is. They go watch, those movies, and they think, oh, okay, I know how to interact. No, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
When they come with us, we be like, what are you talking
Because,
about?
baby, we done been through slavery, and we still don't know how to interact with some of y'all. So, I mean,
okay.
Like, I mean, it's the being honest truth. But that was the main reason. Like, I feel like we need to. So we're not saying that we're blaming anybody in particular, but we are saying, like, we need to.
Fault.
It's all our faults. All our faults. We're not gonna just do it. Like, this is us taking blame, and collectively. So if there's a check to be involved, we need to split that collectively. So we can collect our
right. Collect out what can say her 40 acres.
Definitely waiting on them 48. I gotta send a letter. I need to talk to the overhead. I need to talk to the manager.
Maybe The way we going, we can't afford 1 acre, so you might not get that little house.
Right. I'm sitting here thinking like, where they gonna find 40 acres for all these people? Well, just
They
make
gonna
mine somewhere new. Just can you split mine? Because I want a little bit of land near the beach, and then I need some like country land. So I
just
want
give me a
mine split.
private island.
Nah, because they get washed away, baby. Mm-mm.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm good.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with a
I'd
mule
rather
though.
die alone in peace than to be.
Die in peace.
I'd
Oh,
rather go in peace.
I had to figure out what I got to do with that mule though. I'm gonna set it up somewhere.
I'm gonna light him up if I'm on that island. I'm gonna have to eat him. 'Cause
No.
I gotta see what else food on there first. That mule might become some meat.
Don't eat it and
They be like,
see.
"What happened to
You
your
don't
meat?"
eat
I ate
animals.
that thing 3 years ago.
Mm-mm.
He was tangy.
Mm-mm.
No, but that's good. So this has been a great topic for us to sit and talk about. So just recap, you guys. Like black marketing, it starts within the community. Take the time to make sure you're marketing yourself in the best light. Don't allow people to brand you and put you out there to be a prop. This is why we call it black marketing, presenting the culture in the right way. It's okay to take ownership if you haven't been doing it, and it's never too late to rebrand yourself.
10-4.
All right.
Oh,
Eyes, you want to leave them with anything?
I would say this, don't, feel like even if you are rough around the edges, because I don't like using words like calling my people ghetto and all that other stuff. I don't like all that. So, if you are a
Ratchet.
little rough around them edges, don't feel like, you have to water yourself down. But also understand that just like Hercules said, whatever you present, I get that. However, you can make that work in your favor because we are strong people, you know, because we try to survive. So, you can market that in the better light. We just got to have techniques, read up, research. We got to do all that. And we can change the way people view us. It's simple. Just got to do the work.
10-4. Don't give up. Keep going. That's all I got because my house just about burnt down with this ring light.
What?
Well, with
How they gonna
that,
market that? They gonna be like,
I'm sorry. I love y'all
well,
though, but stay
donate
strong.
to Queen. We're gonna put her cash up there because her house is on
how
flames
they
right
gonna
now.
market that?
So,
I love y'all. I was at a
and if
Thomas
you
King
want
event,
anybody to blame, it's Duke Energy.
but that really did happen though. It was like, and then the ring light went off, and that shit, it was
You
hot.
about to have it. Oh. All right, y'all. We're gonna get out of here before people get set
Bye.
on fire. So we not gonna do that because we don't want no Salem witch trials kind of things happen up in here.
Okay.
But with that being said, make sure you're tuning in to the Melanin Playbook. It's on every platform. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook,
Please do.
Instagram, Twitter. Check out our personal pages. You got Lika
Hey,
Baby, Cassie Eyes, Paul_Hercules. We even have I am Jamez. He's not here tonight, but I am Jamez. Make sure you check all of us out. Make sure you keep checking out the page. Show us love. Go on our website, themelaninplaybook.com. Make sure you're sign up for our email list. Get all the good energy and everything flowing. We love you guys. We love you, love you, love you. And we look
love you
forward to
too. Like,
Love and
share, and
light.
subscribe.
yes, and we look forward to the next episode of the Melanin Playbook. Here's us
Yay.
checking out.
Love and light, baby.